North Wilkesboro Speedway has seen wars, it has seen legends, it has seen the rawest form of stock car racing NASCAR ever produced, and now once again, it has become the proving ground for a decision that could change the future of the Cup Series. This time, the stakes are different. NASCAR is not testing a new track, not testing a new tire, not testing a new schedule idea. NASCAR is testing power, real power, the kind drivers have been begging for since the next-gen car arrived. For the first time, a full field of Cup Series teams is on track with the new 750 horsepower package. This is not a rumor. This is not a simulation. This is a live organizational test that could decide whether short-track racing finally gets fixed or whether NASCAR will once again be forced back to the drawing board. For years, the sport has been stuck in a frustrating loop. Drivers complain. Fans complain. The racing at short tracks feels tight, stuck, and predictable. Passing is hard. Cars struggle to separate. Tires do not wear enough. Mistakes do not get punished. The common complaint has stayed the same. There is not enough power. Now NASCAR has finally responded. The jump from 670 horsepower to 750 horsepower may not sound massive on paper. 80 horsepower does not look dramatic in a spreadsheet, but on a short track, that difference changes everything. Throttle response, wheel spin, braking zones, corner exit, tire fall off, driver discipline. This is why North Wilkesboro matters so much. This track is old school, narrow, flat in places, uneven in others. It does not forgive sloppy driving. It does not reward clean air. It exposes weak setups and impatient drivers. If the 750 horsepower package works here, it can work anywhere. NASCAR knows this. That is why this test is happening before the season officially begins at the Clash. There is no room for guesswork, no room for marketing spin. Teams need answers now. Since the next-gen car debuted, short-track racing has struggled to meet expectations. The cars are heavy, the tires are durable, the downforce is high. Once a driver gets trapped behind another car, clean air disappears, and passing becomes rare. Drivers have been vocal, some have been blunt, others have been careful with their words. But the message has been consistent. These cars need more power. Denny Hamlin said it repeatedly. Kevin Harvick said it during his final season. Kyle Busch has not been subtle. Even younger drivers who grew up racing high-horsepower cars on dirt and short tracks have noticed the difference. The next-gen car, at 670 horsepower, often feels like it is glued to the track. That makes racing cleaner, but also makes it less dramatic. Mistakes do not happen as often. Drivers can stay wide open longer. The throttle becomes a switch instead of a tool. More power changes that. With 750 horsepower, drivers cannot mash the throttle without consequences. Rear tires break loose. Cars slide. Drivers must manage momentum and patience. Small mistakes grow into big problems. That is what creates passing opportunities. That is what creates chaos. And chaos, when controlled, is exactly what short-track racing needs. This test is not just about horsepower numbers. It also includes adjustments to the aerodynamic package. Lower downforce elements are being evaluated alongside the power increase. Smaller spoilers, reduced underbody grip, less assistance from clean air. The goal is simple: put the responsibility back in the driver's hands. At North Wilkesboro, that responsibility becomes obvious within a few laps. Drivers cannot hide behind aero tricks here. They cannot rely on momentum from long straightaways. They must brake harder, turn in earlier, balance throttle carefully. Teams are watching tire wear closely. With more power, tires should degrade faster. That creates strategy. That creates comers and goers. That creates opportunities for drivers who save equipment early and attack late. This is what fans remember from classic NASCAR short track racing. It is what made Bristol famous. It is what made Martinsville legendary. It is what built the sport before data sheets and simulation models took over. NASCAR's decision to run this test before the Clash is intentional. The Clash is not just an exhibition anymore. It sets the tone for the season. It tells fans and teams what kind of racing to expect. If the 750 horsepower package delivers strong racing at North Wilkesboro, it strengthens the case for expanded use during the 2026 season. NASCAR has already confirmed that select short tracks and road courses will see this higher power setup. But this test determines how confident NASCAR feels pushing further. Teams are also paying close attention. More power changes set up philosophy, gear ratios, cooling systems, brake management. It affects how teams approach the entire weekend. Crew chiefs must rethink balance, engineers must adapt simulations, drivers must adjust driving style. This is not a small tweak, it is a fundamental shift. Some teams welcome it, others are cautious. Higher horsepower increases risk, engines are pushed harder, mechanical failures become more likely. Teams with deeper resources may adapt faster, smaller teams may struggle initially. NASCAR has to balance all of this. The racing must improve without creating an unmanageable gap between organizations. That is why this test is described internally as an organizational test. This is not about lap times. This is about data collection, about understanding consequences before points are on the line. The location itself adds meaning. North Wilkesboro is a symbol of NASCAR's roots. When the track reopened, fans embraced it not just because of nostalgia, but because it represented something NASCAR had lost: rawness, imperfection, authenticity. Testing the new horsepower package here feels intentional, almost symbolic. It is NASCAR asking a hard question in a place that demands honest answers. Does more power fix the problem? Early feedback from previous limited tests suggested improvement. Drivers reported that the cars felt harder to drive, that throttle control mattered again, that tires showed fall-off. But those tests did not involve a full field of Cup teams. This one does. Traffic changes everything. Clean air disappears. Dirty air becomes real. Drivers must manage lap traffic and restarts. That is where short-track racing lives or dies. If the 750 horsepower package allows drivers to move through traffic instead of getting stuck, NASCAR will have its proof. If it does not, the criticism will only grow louder. Fans have waited patiently. Many feel the sport compromised too much in the name of parity and cost control. They want racing that feels dangerous again, not reckless, just demanding. This test represents NASCAR acknowledging that concern. It is also a response to the idea that modern cars have removed too much skill from the equation. When everyone runs wide open, talent gets flattened. When power increases, differences emerge. This matters for the future of the sport. Young drivers coming up through short-track ranks grew up racing cars that demanded finesse. If Cup cars feel foreign to that experience, development suffers. The 750 horsepower package brings the Cup Series closer to its developmental ladder again. There is also the fan factor. NASCAR understands perception matters. The sport has heard the criticism. Boring short tracks hurt television ratings. They hurt attendance. They hurt momentum. This test is not about pleasing social media for a day. It is about making sure the product survives long term. NASCAR officials will study every lap, tire data, driver feedback, engine performance, passing numbers, fall-off rates, restart quality. Nothing will be ignored, and that is what makes this test so important. This is not a marketing stunt. It is not a headline grab. It is a technical experiment with real consequences. If it works, the sport takes a step forward. If it fails, NASCAR faces uncomfortable questions about the next-gen car's future. North Wilkesboro has answered hard questions before. It separated the tough from the talented. It rewarded patience and punished arrogance. Now it is being asked to judge NASCAR itself. The clash is approaching. The season is about to begin. Teams want clarity. Drivers want a car they can race, not just manage. The 750 horsepower package is NASCAR's boldest response yet. And at North Wilkesboro Speedway, with a full field of Cup teams finally unleashed, the sport will find out whether more power is the solution it has been searching for or just another chapter in a long debate. Because when the green flag drops, excuses disappear. Only the racing will speak.